Got a Panasonic system here that's got an E04 code. It's under this walkway. Here's the error code flashing on the wired remote. Alright, right here we have that an E04 is an indoor unit that doesn't see a response from the outdoor. Thankfully, I looked out and found some gloves because I am far away from the van and everything down here smells like piss. Probably some homeless bum pissing through that. Golly, gross. That yellow stuff right there you see, that's human piss. I'm tired of working around this crap. Anyways, I've got a dead board. No LEDs, nothing. So need to figure out, the disconnect's on. I don't know, maybe a breaker got left off. Well, I've got power, and obviously I checked between all three phases. I can hear a very faint, that right there, if you can hear it, kind of rhythmic chirping. And when you hear something like that, or you see some erratic behavior, some component like an LED, that can be a switch mode power supply trying to boot up and then having to shut down because it senses a problem, short or something. So there is a board back in here that I'm going to try to get to see if there's any evidence back there of what's going on. Let me just go over a few tips and tricks here. So when you're looking into circuit board issues, you want to be aware of topography of the board, because things that are in close proximity are often related, see? And that makes sense, right? Because if you're going to fit all this stuff onto a board, the layout has to be as logical as possible, traces as short as possible. But you can also get in here, and unless it's a double-sided board, you can start to see that? So one of those fuses is feeding down into this plug, the other one is loops around and feeds the plug. So that's what led me to realizing that this board is not getting power because of that. Now, do we have a short? Well, I'm going to test for that and see, and then if we don't, I'm going to put a fuse in and try it. Let me show you something here. So I'm reading resistance to ground, and I'm getting these kind of readings. So what is that? Watch this. That is just going to be capacitors and stuff draining down on the board. You see that? And so the impedance of my meter is actually helping to drain this board down if I stay connected to it. So that's one way to drain down boards, or to check them and make sure they're drained, because it can take a very long time on these kind of units. Quite a bit of time has passed, and I'm still reading voltage on that side and on that side, and that's probably just due to back feeding. But anyways, just goes to show you how long these units take to fully discharge, and that's why when you do power cycles, you want to leave them off for like half an hour before you just flip it back on. I've just got the alligator clips now to help it discharge faster. Okay, I've got no shorts on either side of that fuse. And if you look, what this is right here, I'm charging a cap on the board with the DC output voltage that's used for the ohms function. That's what that is. Now, I've got no shorts right now, but again, topography is important. I have mains coming in here, and then it's most likely going to be feeding these relays, which in turn are going to switch on. These are most likely solenoids, and on VRF units, all the solenoids and stuff are high voltage. So I need to go down all of these and make sure I've got no shorts to ground. All right, I've gone down all the high voltage plugs, and obviously those are just going to be the plugs that have the bigger wires in it, not necessarily bigger in gauge, but have thicker insulation. Checked everything. Now obviously if I got a short, then you need to unplug it and verify that you're not reading through something weird on the board, but everything is good. So I'm gonna look and see if there's other outputs that maybe could explain that blown fuse, and then probably just replace it. Unfortunately, I broke it getting it out of there, but it's a 3.15 amps, so I'm not worried about this fuse feeding anything that's going to be a high load. It's just going to be like these solenoids and stuff. Not quite done yet, so another thing that I'm interested in is, could this be a short that's the result of this machine running? So we got like a rub through that's only going to short when it's running, and for the most part, Panasonic is ridiculously good about wire routing, but there's something up here that's a bit suspicious. I don't know if I can get that. I'm trying not to get in the piss, but that does look like a rub through, but I need to look at it closer. This guy walks across here as I'm working under there and lets his dog pee right on the top of this unit. Running down everything. Mother. Man, I let him have it. God, if I had been up there. Ooh. I better never see that again. There is a start of a rub through. I can't find it through the camera, but anyways, I don't see bare wire. Now, also want to make sure that these aren't shorted internally, although they are very well protected, because they are covered in piss. All right, this is normally what these solenoids run because they're high voltage. So I'm going down here. Now, do I need to unplug them? Normally no, because if the relay's open, the circuit's open. Of course, if you get a short, you do want to unplug it and verify, but here in this one, yep, chopsticks. Yep, okay. I have got a short. All right, let me check the rest of them out, and then we'll unplug that and test it again. Okay, I've got another short here. It's not necessarily a short, so got to be careful. I also need to look at the wiring diagram and just make sure I'm reading, but normally they're grouped together. Let's keep going. There's another one. So what I'm thinking is that these are on a bus bar type deal, okay? And then this is going to be a switched power and a switched power, which kind of makes sense. What that allows you to do is isolate the high voltage, because these are at the same potential, so they can go together no problem, and then these got spaces, so that's your other leg. So for example, I'm reading through both relays now, or solenoids, excuse me. Now I'll read through just one of them, so I should have half of what I was reading. Okay, so those are all good. All right, let's get a fuse finally. Bingo. I keep a lot of these random fuses for VRF. They always use random crap like that. You probably notice this is a new van. This is my temporary van until I get my new high top. More about that later. Had a catastrophic failure that could have been very, very bad. Darn, well, we are not good to go. It's the wrong size. Now, not amperage, it doesn't matter that it's a 3 instead of a 3.15. Typical circuit design, whatever your amperage is, your fuse is at least twice that. So, you know, that's not a big deal. I just need the smaller style. Man, I thought I had those somewhere, but I don't think I have them on this van. Amazingly, I was able to find these locally It is a slow blow. That's what the T on that fuse stood for, time delay. So I'll pop it in there and I'll just turn this thing on before I even put it back together and see what happens. Went ahead and replaced them both. Oh look, she's alive. Amperage looks good as well. Alright, it's up and running now. You can probably hear it. In addition, you can see a leaf trapped up there. I had to wait for it to blow all those piss-soaked leaves off of the top of the fan blade. Anyways, I think we got it. Looking good. Well, it was kind of simple, but at least you got to see what you would do to chase down a short, or even to verify whether or not there's a short before you just go throwing fuses in.